I'm going to do an inside video today. I've been talking a lot about anchoring lately, and this is something that I feel is really, really essential at the moment. Anchoring sort of connects to ascension, it connects to activation, it connects to awareness, it connects to like the blueprint that's been sort of like given to us at the moment. The blueprint is connecting to our own energetic systems individually, but it's also connecting to the planetary sort of like energy and vibrations at the moment. The universal law of vibration is one that's at play in our lives every single day. Um, Universal law of correspondence is at play. The universal law of transmutation and transformations at play. Um, there's so many things that are going on for each and every one of us at the moment. And anchoring is this process of awakening to your energy, your vibration, your frequency, and this is what the masters are doing. Anchoring's connecting to like Al Moira at the moment, which is like the ascended master that's to do with the divine will and divine intelligence, but this is to do with like sort of the unity of like the spirit, the realms of light and energy, and the planet, and it's like bringing it back into union. The blueprint sort of like that I'm talking about is this kind of the ascension process is going back to oneness, but the blueprint is like again bringing this new energetic frequencies to the planet that we're connecting to, and it is about us starting to really sort of like open up to those and start to sort of become aware of them again and become aware of our own energy and our own sort of light. And I keep talking about co-creation. uh, the source the source energy and the source creation within each and every one of us is this light frequency, this is light vibration that each and every one of us hold. And it's about anchoring that down, and anchoring is about sort of like integrating it within our consciousness, integrating it within our energy fields as energetic beings. And it's about sort of like the more we anchor it, the more we integrate it within our body, but we integrate it within our reality. And when we integrate it in our reality, then we start to then become aware of this ability to start to shift and change reality for us individually, but then also to work on a collective level, and then working on a collective level, then we'll actually start to then activate the planet. The planet's ascension is connected to our ascension, individually and collectively, as is the ascended masters. Ascension is the process of oneness. It's about coming back to oneness at one vibration, one frequency. So all of this is what's going on with the masters, and sort of like the white brotherhood and the universal teachers, and also the guides and the angels, the archangels that work with us at the moment, that are bringing through sort of unity of light and unity of vibration. And it's all about sort of like coming back into that, coming back and sort of like working with that. I keep talking about this notion of separation. um, the sort of like the guidance that I feel like, you know, with like Serapis Bay, which is this ascended master that talks about ascension, and coming back into this process of source energy and source light, sort of like as a guide. Like I feel like Serapis Bay works to open up those energy centers and that energy frequency within each and every one of us, that brings us back into that source energy, that source um, reality, which is that there is no separation. The more I sort of like go through my frequency at the moment, the more I'm being sort of directed more and more to sit in my own light, my own energy, and not feel any separation. I think a lot of us sort of like in our lives, we sort of like for me, it's like I'll sit here and do a reading this morning, and that will increase my vibration, that will increase my frequency, because what it's doing is it's opening up my energy channel to become more sort of aligned with the guides, and the teachers, but also the angels, and the infinite realms of light and the infinite frequencies of light, that are all sort of like expressions of source energy, as we are. And when I do the reading, I create this sacred space here and now, and I feel like I'm connected in that sacred space. I'm unified, and I feel like the more that sort of like over the last few weeks and few months of sort of like the guidance and the awakening. It also opens you up to your infinite self, like your higher self, which is the being that's always connected, or the aspect of self that's always connected to those infinite realms, and also connected to source. So it's an open channel to receive. And when we start to really open up, we start to open up to that infinite self, or that higher self. Then that becomes the sort of like the aspect of self that starts to create, and also step sort of creates, but it also sort of like drives our reality, our consciousness, and then we're more aligned. And this is what this time's about. But it's also, as I was saying, about this sense of like being in a sacred space. It's really important, because the sacred space is like a reflection of being in source energy, being connected. And the sacred space is where you're more connected into those higher those frequencies of light and energy, those infinite frequencies. And when we start to connect into that, we realize, wherever we go, wherever we walk, whatever we do, that source energy is within us, and it's sort of like it's vibrating, and it's part of us, wherever we go, whatever we do. So it's like, again, I feel like sometimes, um, in spiritual reality, in spiritual evolution, we're very much sort of like, we end up sort of like, as we do in life, we sort of like compartmentalize in a way. It's like, well, like, so say I'm at home now and I'm doing this reading. I'm in a sacred space of beautiful light, beautiful energy. My heart's opened up, my energy channels opened up to receive, and to sort of express, but also to discuss like wisdom, and understanding, and also ascension and activation and all those kind of things. But then I step out the door, then I get in my car, and then I go to work. And then when I go to work, part of you becomes separate again. Then it's like part of you becomes dormant, because then you go to work, and that sacred space, you know, is still there, and that source energy is still there. But it's like, then our consciousness, or our reality, takes over, where we go into work mode, and then we start to become attached, and we also start to become distracted by the external world. As what we should be doing is walking in that light and taking that source energy wherever we go. Everything is just, this expression of source energy. Some of the experiences I'm having of late is like, even like so I walk into my work building, and it's like, obviously it's a physical structure, with windows, and sort of walls and stuff like that. But I'm also feeling more and more now, as I start to anchor in this light, I feel like I'm vibrating, as an energetic frequency. And then the building, and although it's sort of like, it feels like a barrier, because you're in a physical thing, it's not. It's energy. And I'm feeling more and more where I'm anchoring in this light, that, the, the sort of like what's needed is to feel that dimension of like the infinite guides, and the angels, and you know that light, that energy is still within me. It's not separate, it's not disconnected. So, and when I get into this kind of feeling of like being in this one vibration, it's like that again, there's no separation. It's wherever I go, those sort of like six-dimensional reality, which is where these universal teachers and these masters of light live, is available. That channel is always open. That sort of like that access is always open. So it's like I'm anchoring in light at work, and I then start to see everything. That space, that workspace, becomes a sacred space of energy, healing, light, peace, harmony. It's not a building, and it's not something that sort of like disconnects me, or separates me. I'm still connected. I'm still part of that vibration, and this is sort of like what I feel is like one of the sort of like teachings that is trying to sort of been given through to me, or the guidance. But it's also for everybody, that you're never separate. So it's like, now I walk into like work, and work is now not just a place of stress and anxiety. It's still a sacred space where I can access that energy, that light, and all I have to do is remain connected to that. And again, this is where the universal law of correspondence is a great sort of like vibration and frequency of light, light frequency that you can access, because then you can start to feel like you're still in that light and that energy, and then you can start to then feel that vibrate as you as that sort of like being of light and that source energy. You're vibrating in your source energy, and then what that does is that then that projects into the outer world, the outer reality, and then, like I said, wherever you go, when you're connected to that inner source energy, that source vibration, then you start to realize that wherever you go, um, that the outer reality can be aligned with that, and so that everything becomes a sacred space. Everything becomes a sacred, um, yeah, a sacred space where you can vibrate and be this being of light. But it also gives us this opportunity to access our own energy and our own, again, will, divine will, which is again this our Moria, which is about like the flow of the universe, but it's also about um, divine intelligence and divine understanding. That wherever you go, whatever you do, you have that energy, that frequency with you, and all you have to do is open up to it. And I feel that. I feel that more and more at the moment. I'm feeling like separation is the illusion, but it's also something that's created, and it's only created from me when I'm separate, or when I'm not, when I'm distracted, or I'm allowing my energy and my energy field to be connected to external things, not internal things. Because the universal law of oneness is this source energy. That is the vibration, is our vibration, our frequency of our essence, our light, our energy. And so they say the universal law of correspondence, but what it really is that you're connected into your source energy, and when you're connected into that, you feel infinite, but you also feel it feels like a vibration, like it's within you, but it's within you because it's your essence. So the universal law of correspondence teaches us to know that when we're in our essence and we're in our source energy, it sort of like it vibrates, and when we're in that vibration and that consciousness, it creates our outer reality. So it's really it's more about being in that source energy and that source light, and that we have this creation, this source creation within each and every one of us. And this is what Saint Germain teaches us. Saint Germain teaches us this transformation and the transmutation, which is we have the ability, and again this connects to our Mora with the divine will, and the flow of the universe and source energy, and also it connects to obviously Serapis Bey with ascension. But it teaches us that we have this energy, that this light, that is in within each and every one of us, that can transform and transmutate. So transmutate is going from a different state of being to another, but it's like vibrations, it's like frequencies. And that different state of being, when we shift it, we shift our reality, we shift our understanding, we shift our consciousness. And this is where all this sense of, like, again, anchoring comes in. Because anchoring is the awakening. It's the awakening to this new energy, which is this six-dimensional reality, which is this, that we're all co-creators, that we have source creation, and we're part of source, and there is no separation. And again, it connects to that sense of, like, cycles of life and death and rebirth and stuff like that, where we're going through these sort of like sheddings, and we start to understand. But the sheddings, again, all of these kind of physical terms, human terms that we're using, are more about sort of like light frequencies that are starting to integrate and anchor within our energetic systems. And then we start to realize that, as we start to vibrate in a different way, then we start to see reality in a different way, and we start to see the world. But we also know that we're not separate. This separateness is one of the biggest things, the biggest barriers, and the biggest keys, that really affects us as spiritual beings, because we get into this illusion that we're separate when we're not. And this is what oneness is about, and this oneness vibration, and this is what this time's about. It's about anchoring, it's about awakening, it's about activating it, and it's about having the awareness, that there is no separation, that everything vibrates and everything is this, in one space, which is this sacred space, which is your universal source energy. And when we can get into this sacred space, then we can start to be aligned and be open, to create, but create it in a more spiritual way. And this is part of the blueprint. And when we start to create in a more spiritual way, what we do is we then start to, first of all, our vibration, our frequency, is something that we're expressed, but it also then will align and connect to other people and other beings as well, and it will help align to their source code, their source energy. But it also then helps to integrate, and part of us is like we're anchoring the energy for the planet. The planet is already full of that frequency. The ascended masters, the angels, the guides, the universal teachers, that the energy's frequencies are already on the planet, and the planet in one sense is awake, is waiting for us to wake up to it and wake up to that frequency. And when we do, then it will start to align, and then we can start to shift and change the reality. And this is what happened when I connect into that. I feel this is what happened like with Lemuria and like Atlantis when they talk about this kind of time. They were aligned with the planet, but they were also, because they were aligned with the planet, they were aligned in oneness. They were also aligned to the universal flow of the source energy, but they were also open to the infinite sort of universal sort of realities. And this is why there was like gateways open where there was many masters and angels and ascended masters that could connect and be aligned at this time. I also still like Lord Lanto, this ascended master, about illumination. Illumination again is knowing that you hold this vibration, this frequency, this source energy, source code that you can walk and express in every moment. And when you're doing that, you're expressing it in a way that is free flowing, and it comes out, and you express it free flowing out of your own energy field, and this connects to other people. And this is what everything is about: energy and light. It's not about physics. It's not about intellect. It's about our sort of our energy, our frequency, our vibration. And this is what this time's about, and this is what this awakening is about, and this is what this blueprint is about. That we're activating this new sort of frequency. We're part of activating this new frequency as a collective to bring our planet back into the universal sort of realities, and back into source energy. So that's the insight for today.